delivers.
Okay.
Okay.
Five.
Five.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, give me a. If you can switch on your cameras, please do. If you can smile, yes, please do. I mean, you always smile, but yes. Okay. As I said, this is all for. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. A print screen, and it goes. Okay. And were you able to browse through the Swiggy Zomato deck? I think that would have been easier, right? Right. Okay. Thanks. Great. So let's make this an interactive, fun module and take your questions around the sixth force, which we call as network effects, right? Yeah. Welcome, and we are now. So today and tomorrow we will finish strategy, and that's what the plan is. Today and tomorrow we'll finish our discussions on business strategy and strategic thinking, and then you'll move on to marketing, sales, and branding. Couple of sessions with Shaumita, and we'll keep flowing. Time will keep flowing. So we'll either then from there move to this module number 5, or this we will see. We've added some more digital transformation type sessions in the supply chain ops, and we recoined it as digital transformation. And then, of course, we'll continue our journey. So today, the session, the way we would kind of divide it is, and we start with this idea of what is network effects. This would be short interactive, and we'll dive into delivery. That can be the first part of our discussion. Then we'll take a break. Then we'll discuss Zomato, Swiggy, and take it to the end, or if need be, we can take another break also. And I just put you all to also reading. I'll encourage you to read TWA parts before you come tomorrow, so that we can discuss that from an strategy execution standpoint, and also use the day tomorrow to recap the whole module. And I think a lot of strengthening of concepts happen when we recap, because when we hear them the first time, understand them the first time, they're new to us. When we use or discuss, we become familiar. When we just sort of recap in a structured way, you will see it coming together. And I would love to keep a good enough time for, say, questions around, so how do I use this, etc. So, and any specific questions also, just please bring to the class tomorrow. So that's the broad idea I have in mind. Is that okay for all of you? Sounds okay? Okay, thank you. So network effects. Okay. Also, these are new age listed companies: Delivery, Zomato, and Swiggy. Okay. And they are all listed companies. I'm aware of that. You are aware of that. But anything that I'm telling you today, or discussing, or anything that we are discussing, is by no means any recommendation on stocks and all of that. So I think these days it's important to say all this, but so I'm doing it. So Anyway, strategists never come up with good stock recommendations, right? So, okay. So what is network effects? And why are we calling it the sixth force shaping strategy? Anybody? What is network effect? And anybody in the class? And
is it the channel that is going to define the play?
Just please repeat, Ranjitji. I couldn't understand what you said. Just say again, or please.
Network effect means, is it the channel network that is going to define the game for the organization?
No. This is different from channel. Different channel network.
Okay.
This is okay. Yes, Kritika.
The network effect in this context is the moat that's built around a business, dependent on an incremental use of that particular product.
Okay, the channel network strategy is different. Moats are an important concept in strategy. Yes, moats are, but I'm not so sure if I understood what you meant by combining moats and network effects. Yeah.
The more number of people start using a particular product, that effect sort of makes the product important in the market.
Beautiful. Yeah. So the more number of people that start using a product, say WhatsApp, right? If there's nobody out there, you also don't want to be out there. I mean, if everybody's on Signal, then we will all move to Signal. And everybody's on Telegram, we'll move to Telegram. But because everybody's on WhatsApp, we are on WhatsApp. So network effect is when the more number of people that join a network create a very powerful force for that network, right? More number of people equals to strong force, right? Okay. Yes, Surya.
Also brings in a sense of dependability as we see more number of people using it. So it will create a bias for people and some events for more like a reinforcement or a belief that comes in when many people use it.
So it's somehow, when I see everybody's on it, I no longer mistrust it, right? I no longer feel that it's not reliable. So if everybody is using DHL, I will use DHL, isn't it? I mean, I know it's pricey and all, but I will never doubt its reliability. It's like a gold standard for something like that. So when the people joining a network are few, people will not trust it fully. But the same network, if it reaches a critical point and everybody's on it, even though it may have issues, but somehow nobody everybody will find very reliable, very trustworthy, and creates trust and all. Okay. What else? Anything else that comes to your mind? So where all do you see network effects? Where do you see it? Where all do you see network effects in action? In your
media, geo,
media. So, for example, everybody's go-to place is, say, WhatsApp for day-to-day communication these days. LinkedIn for networking.
Instagram.
Sorry. Instagram. Yeah, Instagram for feed.
Consumer products as well.
Can you give me an example?
Tata Namak.
Tata Neo, right? Tata Nova.
No, Tata Salt. Like in a physical product sense, Tata Salt and the way it has built its network effect because of how it's being used, even in physical products. Like Maruti, for a whole lot of time, had high-end Indians.
That, Kritika, is what we call the traditional market leadership. Okay, that is not network effect in the sense today we will talk about.
Yeah.
So Tata Salt is a branded. It's taken a product space that there was no brand needed. It was salt. It was basically something we bought unbranded. But Tata was able to organize it, make that category as an organized category. So and it leads it, right? And they also have some variations.
So network effects are mostly in terms of, let's say, internet-driven or software-driven.
Yeah, new age, internet-driven, right. Whereas market leadership, market share, market dominance, monopolistic, oligopolistic type structures exist in the physical space, right? Control products and things like that. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you.
Yeah. Network effects, when it's used in the context of virtual, digital, online marketplaces and so on and so forth. Yes, Aritra, Siddharth, Ranjit, Irshad, Ayush.
So, Rajiv, Paytm is one such thing where it's been seen, digital payments.
Right.
Then Zepto, Blinkit is obviously another one where
Payments, Paytm, okay. And what's the network effect for Paytm? So let's just elaborate that. What is
having that convenience of making a small to large payment via a digital application wherever and whenever they want it. Be it online or offline.
Right. So easy to use, availability, lot of traders, everybody using it. So it is becoming. And who else is in Paytm space here?
PhonePe.
Google Pay.
PhonePe, GPay, Google Pay. Right.
Cred has also ventured into it, and there are many other who are venturing into this UPI and digital payment space.
Okay, correct.
And one good thing is on this space, Rajiv, Paytm and PhonePe primarily provide that digital device to the smaller vendor, right? Whether the payment is confirmed or not. But others are not yet in that space, but they are gradually moving towards that. But right now, Paytm and PhonePe, so their network penetration is much more in the small trading businesses.
Okay, to small, SMEs in a way. Certainly.
Yeah, even that those roadside vendors also they use quite a lot.
Right. Bottom.
Just wondering if super apps also are kind of an example for this.
Can you give examples of super apps?
Something like, currently we have mostly Tata Neu. So
Slightly louder, Arita. I think maybe you're just a bit far away from your device.
Am I audible better now?
Little faint for me, but continue.
Basically, super apps such as Tata Neu, where you would have different products of Tata, and you have their customer base, right? And then because you are having different categories of such customers, but together with the interchangeability of, say, the Tata Neu coin and all, that gives you accessibility, gives you interchangeability between each of the products, and at the same time it kinds of builds a stronger force or captive customer base.
Right. Yeah, super apps. There's a room for super apps. So super apps are aggregating other marketplaces also and bringing it to. Yes, Ranjit.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Can we consider Jio internet platform? See, because of the lot of users, it has forced the organizations like Facebook and Google to get tie-up with them. And the way they have converted the Jio Hotstar, they tied up with the Jio Hotstar.
Right.
After that, they leveraged the IPL matches at lower prices.
Right.
Of course, they could able to telecast.
So I would say the way the Jio world is shaping itself, it starts from Jio, the telecom player. Therefore, the internet, the internet capturing. Then the Jio Hotstar, which is the streaming player. Now the Jio Mart, which is like a e-commerce, omni-channel solution. So they are building the large ecosystem of players, and there is a play of network effects over there also, no doubt. Yes, Jio network. Let me put it like that. Okay. Yes, Irshad.
Health fitness clubs. That again has, you have the network effect in there.
Interesting, explain. Yeah.
Fitness club, and again any social clubs like the Lions Club or Rotary, whatever it is. So again, that again has this network effect.
Gold, all these things.
So I like this idea. Nobody gave up the Rotary as an example, but Rotary is a powerful network effect. So you join it, different people join it, charitable, social, this, that, and it gives you a network. And the more people see, this is the crux of network effect. the more people that onboard on it, they make that stronger, which again encourages more people to jump. And this is like what I call the mirror to mirror analogy, which means it is continuous. So it keeps growing like a flywheel on its own.
So
I'm not saying there is zero customer acquisition, but it just, when the network becomes very strong, your customer acquisition cost goes down because it's just so strong, everybody joins it on their own. And when everybody joins it, it becomes even more stronger, so more people join it, and then it starts to create that power, right? So Rotary is an interesting example, and it's an interesting example. Social clubs. Fitness clubs, I could understand network effect. So the more people join it, the more I'm trying to understand.
The thing is, it just gives that some kind of comfort level that, okay, this is a good place to be in, and you have that, because otherwise if I open a gym, Irshad Gym, and nobody will even know, but if I open a random one, obviously that will help that give that comfort factor, and then the brand sells.
So I would just call it as a overall category of brand franchising, right? Right. So it is, say for example, if fitness club was a thing that if 500 people join, then 500 more join. It's literally not that. It is a physical setup. It has got locational advantage, but it's got a brand advantage. So Cult Fit, etc., etc. The same friend, instead of if you open Irshad Gym, it will not succeed. If you open a Cult Fit gym, it will succeed. It could be the same location. You could be the operator in both, right? So the brand franchising the brand has power in franchising. Yeah. That leads to
Rajiv, would we call Uber as a network?
Uber is a very strong network effect. Ride hailing, as we call it. Okay. Uber, Ola, Blue Smart, Rapido. So so this is a very easy example to understand. And the Uber example is, or the ride-hailing example is, the more number of drivers are there, the more ride possibility at any point of time. So the more number of people using that facility, the more number of people using that facility creates more number of drivers wanting to be on that, because you always get business, right? So one lets the other, and it's both sides of the network keep growing, right? And on their own. And the beauty is on their own, right?
So, Rajiv sir, Kenyan networks like Tupperware and Vestige, they are into multi-level marketing, but they have developed a lot of network across the country. We can be B&B.
Multi-level marketing is a form of network effect in action in a certain sense, because the whole idea is the more number of people who join that, it kind of propagates, everybody earns. The business model could be different. In a Uber business model, the money is flowing from the cab hailer to the cab provider, with the Uber platform taking a cut, a transaction fee and stuff like that. But whereas in a multi-level marketing, it's a chain-based, So business model are different, but yes, in multi-level marketing, if everybody joins it, then I also, I will also join like that. So yes.
Would finance influencers or makeup influencers on Instagram be a part of network marketing? Because a lot of people these days, what they do, like the 1% club that Sharan Negde has, okay? He does a lot of marketing on Instagram, and then he has his own club where people influence and stuff like that. So could that count?
Yes, so wherever you see, okay? So we can look at network effects in two ways. Generally looked at it as a two-way process. So therefore, an online marketplace or an aggregator is a great example, right? Okay. Uber is a great example. Ride-hailing is a great example. More number of riders will lead to more number of drivers. More number of drivers will lead to more number of riders. Over time, these will become a very powerful network, and it will become almost oligopolistic or monopolistic. Almost, not totally, right?
So B&B is also there.
Sorry?
B&B.
What is B?
It's a business network platform where the professionals. Yes.
Yes, I've heard about it. Yes, business network platform. Yes. So the more number of business that join that platform encourages more number of members to join that platform and sort of business network platform. Now, if you think about it, and I'll take Sunil, Ayush, any other example, network effects in action.
Yeah, I think dating apps are a great example for this.
Of course, any app that is bringing two sites together. So dating apps are people looking for company, people wanting to give company, whatever.
Also companies like IndiaMart and JustDial.
So let's just call it online marketplaces. Right? So Amazon is a network effect example. More sellers are there, give us more variety, so more buyers go there. More buyers, so all sellers say, let's go to Amazon. There's no point going anywhere else. Amazon, Flipkart, whichever else, online marketplace, let me say Amazon. Now, think about Pallavi, you want to add?
Cloud Kitchen.
Cloud Kitchen, more number of the Cloud Kitchen is a business model. Wherein you don't have a physical presence, you have a kitchen on the cloud, which means I can order food without going to you and without even seeing you physically ever. Right? So network effects needs two sides at the minimum.
Okay.
Now suppose there's a Cloud Kitchen aggregator. Right, so let's say cloud food, foodcloud.com or whatever, which means I allow everybody who wants to be in a cloud. You want to make good food from your home or me or whatever. We go there. We're not restaurants. We're kind of home food makers with a taste and zing. We put our menus out there which are changing. And there is people who would like to enjoy that type of food come there. Then that foodcloud.com or foodcloud marketplace is creating a network effect.
Okay.
It's the network effect. The more they can hire, the more they can onboard people like Pallavi and Rajiv. The more
The effect.
people like Piyush and Ayush want to have home food, not a restaurant food, but with a bit of a zing. Okay.
Right.
They will come. The more they will come, now it was Pallavi, Rajiv, now Surya will also jump in. Say, why am I doing it on my own? This is the place where everybody's going.
Right.
Otherwise, we will have to find customers, right?
Yes.
Just because we have an app or we have a website doesn't mean customer is going to come. So the network effect is a solution to acquiring customers. The solution is a way of understanding how customers can be acquired at scale. If you can get it in action. And because it solves a real problem, which is the problem of getting customers, people will jump on it at a fee, at a price, things like that. Now, I'll just end sort of this part of my, even I don't know how to lower my hand, but if somebody can guide me, we'll figure it out. So just think about traditional businesses and what we learn in strategies, what kind of focus they need to have on their resources, capabilities, whether we talk in terms of competitive advantage, we talk in terms of industry analysis, value chain, their business model. We've always been focused on, a few set of choices that guide other choices. We've always been focused on integration between where to play, how to win, and then detailing of how to win, right? That's been our thinking around strategy. Now, compare that with what do you need to create network effects? And because of what we saw that this is a slightly different art, we started to feel and the power that it has on any business performance in business literature and in the last decade, this has started to be coined as the sixth force shaping strategy. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
There are
five forces shaping strategy, which is how you incur entry barrier in an industry. Okay. Your threats of substitutes, your buyer bargaining power, your seller, your customer bargaining power, your supplier's bargaining power, and the rivalry, right? These are the five forces that traditionally act on an industry. Now we are seeing this also as a force that is shaping industries at large. So powerful force. Like you all know, it has shaped the industry. It was a very different industry before Uber and Ola became the dominant force, and now it is pretty much a few players controlling this industry. So, Sunil, you have a question?
Okay.
Yeah. So the important thing to understand in network effect is that the company is here. Okay. And it is enabling an exchange between two user segments. So companies which are pure marketplaces, they themselves are not holding assets for that business. They are enabling a core exchange. Okay. And because if they do this well, they have the capability or the power of creating network effects on both sides. If they are offering a value proposition to both sides, multiple value propositions to both sides, more and more people will come. And if they are doing that, they'll create a powerful network effect. This is what the power of network effects is. And this idea is not new. Okay, while we used it in the digital context, if you look at for example, malls, right? They were nothing but bringing people who wanted to own shops and people who wanted to buy from shops, in a place that offered more value-added experience, right? Comfortable parking, experience, food, recreation, rest, whatever, right? And you go to one place and different zones of the place, you could meet pretty much your whole needs. So So it's offering a value proposition to both sides. Another old example is newspapers, right? Traditional example. Newspapers were giving news to readers, right? But they also had advertisers coming in and making that business work because the price of the newspaper was never something that the newspaper companies earned from. But because by virtue of that they had you all in the network, or we all in the network, advertisers used newspapers as a platform to reach us. So it was a three-sided network. The newspaper companies, we the readers, or you can say the newspaper companies providing the core exchange between the reader and the advertiser. But to do that, it had to have the capability of giving the right news. Otherwise, we won't be there. Right. Because IT has made this so easy, so frictionless, so cheap, that this has become a very powerful business models that have emerged out of this. And also, because people who are interacting in a digital business, everything is, the entire interaction is digital. There is a huge amount of data that these companies start to get access to in terms of customer profile, in terms of behavior, in terms of timing, value. And it's done without effort if the infrastructure is laid down. Now, this is a very powerful data to them because it gives them a lot of insight into customer segments and customer behavior, right? So and on both sides, they get it even on supplier behavior. And so these platform providers are accumulating a good source of value through this data. Whether they can put it to use or not, that time will tell, but they are doing that, right?
So I
So I discussed that there are two-sided network effects or three-sided network effects.
And
And another good example of three-sided network effects is, say, YouTube.
Okay.
Okay. You and I go there for recreation and content. Fine.
There
are people who provide the content.
Whether
There are companies who provide the content, which is different channels, or there are individuals, influential speakers and all of that who provide content, and we go and listen to their content.
So
So YouTube is a platform for content providers, content consumers.
That's clear.
That's clear, right?
And
it's a channel, so people say, why do I want to make people come to my website? Okay, I'll have my website, but let me put my content on YouTube. The chances that more people will be able to find me there is higher. Right?
There's
a third force that comes in YouTube, which is, let's say, Ayush is an influential speaker on, say, digital transformation. Right. And he has a good audience. Every week he's analyzing some digital transformation or something like that. And by virtue of that, he has a good audience. He's a what we call influencer, if I can call it like that. So somebody who's wants to sell a digital product or a digital transformation type solution, I would like to advertise on Ayush's channel. So I'll go to Ayush and say, look, Ayush, can you talk about my solution? This software will help you run. And I will pay him a price. The reason I'm doing that is not because I like Ayush. The reason I'm doing that is because Ayush has 500 followers who are interested in digital transformation, and I want to reach those 500 followers. So it's a three-sided, YouTube is a three-sided network effect. Content providers, content consumers, you and me, and advertisers who are paying to them so that they can reach us. Making some sense to you? Three-sided?
And YouTube
is the platform. Right?
Is that
making sense? Two-sided?
Uber
is two-sided. YouTube is three-sided. Making sense?
What about
Google? Google is two-sided. It's Google, the platform, which itself has the search engine algorithm, which is enabling you and I to go and search. Right? That search is the digital content. Google doesn't own the content. Page rank algorithm and gives you the information that you're looking at, indexed in a certain way. Popularity, citation, whatever it is, right? But because we all are there, Google is the search engine to go to. Companies pay for Google AdWords, Google AdSense, so that they can feature up more high, right? And it's more of a business model example because it's not that I'm going there because there is a certain company that is paying advertisement fee to Google. No, but because of its monopolistic position in search, and everybody goes there. Almost everybody is using Google to get better ranked and things like that, and that's how Google earns its revenues. Google earns its revenues through advertisements, through advertisement, right? Because it's a free subscription. You and I don't pay to Google anything. Yeah. Making some sense to you? Okay. So now if I was in a traditional business, then the capabilities that I needed to think about were about all of these forces, right? My fighting competition or innovating against competition, customers, suppliers. But if I'm in a platform business, then I am not really worried that much about whether I'm most competent in sourcing or not. I'm wanting the right exchange convenience to happen. If the people are listing their products high, they will not get sold. The people who are listing their products less will get sold. Right? So
But there's
a lot I think that these platforms have to do to build trust and credibility, because only then will people come to the platform, and only when one side will come to the platform will the other side get incentivized to come, and this will happen. Making sense for you? Yeah. Okay.
Sir, even in the platform business, between the two companies who are into platform providing, then these 5 forces will be applicable.
So for each company in itself, which is whichever this user segment is, they are one of these.
Okay.
Right? If it's a company, if it's an individual, then we won't go into this. So their business to be able to provide, so let's say if I'm a fleet of 100 cars, for me to be able to provide a service at a good price, I will have to manage my fleet better, maintain it better, keep my drivers. But I will put all my fleet on Uber because Uber solves my customer acquisition problem. And I will make my customer acquisition capability zero. I'll say I'm just going there. It's the best representation of aggregate demand. And I'm not succeeding at building my own capability. It is not sustainable to me. Sometimes I feel happy, sometimes I don't. Why don't I sacrifice a fee and just put my fleet, because then I keep getting business. And on the whole, even after paying that fee, I make a better return every month. So it's a model I like. So that's. So they are not against each other. They're just different competencies. But somebody who's working at Uber is least bothered about how a car is maintained. Right? They just let the right people be there on both sides. They're probably more interested about, is somebody misusing my service? They're more interested about any feedback that comes negative. So they're more interested about governance and ensuring that the site is up and the data thing is there, the payment processing is happening. So they're doing the facilitation and the governance. Right? When they have to start, that's when they have to onboard the drivers. So if they go to a new town in Northeast, they go to Burma, they go to some place, then they have to first onboard. Once they onboard, because of their service is so strong, riders take it. Once riders keep coming, automatic onboarding will happen, and it's till it reaches a saturation point. Okay. Let's put this in action. Let's understand it a little bit more in action. So I thought of picking up that. Yes, Piyush, you had a question, and Ayush, you too.
As I understand now, there could be 2 or 3 platform providers or service providers, I would put it, and then whichever out of them makes a better network, trustworthy network, creates that network, so the followers are increasing, is sort of the better.
Yes, it's a good understanding. So the language to use is, what kind of network effects can we create?
Network effect.
Right. This is a popular word. So, for example, if you will take an online business idea to a set of investors, they will probably ask you in the discussion, does your business create any network effects? So again, simple understanding, network effects means the more of one side will get me more of the other. That's at the simplest level understanding. And suppose you say yes, and you can explain to them this, that the more I do this, the more blogging I'll do like this, the more bloggers will come, the more equipment providers. You have to explain it like this to them. If they get that, they say, okay. People like businesses with network effects. Why?
Because it is increasing the business. It is.
Second part, on its own.
On its own.
When you put the 2 mirrors facing each other, that's it. The job is done. It will continuously keep reflecting. The on its own is the engine they are looking at. See, everybody in business wants a return multiplier effect. And if return is coming with a continuous effort, then it's an incremental return, right? It's still meeting the expectation, but
in
digital business, people feel, wow, if you can create network effects, I have an engine that's going to run. So they enjoy that. Right. So that's the secret to
A kind of autopilot mode you're looking at?
autopilot mode, flywheel.
Isn't it the scalability factor of these
Scalability factor.
digital platforms, right? So
Scalability factor. This network effects is at the heart of scaling up.
But are there examples in the physical platforms, like any manufacturing company able to leverage the network effect? Is there any example like that?
It's a good question. Manufacturing company. Okay. So what is happening with traditional businesses is businesses are trying to create small ecosystems. Okay, so if there's a business that is sourcing a lot, now it's creating a supplier ecosystem. If the businesses are in different channels, it's trying to create omni-channel or those are different things. Those are not network effects. But they are understanding the power of ecosystem. Okay, and they're saying, while my core business, 90-95% of my business is my core business, can I create an ecosystem which I can leverage? So that's the puzzle that they are trying to solve or think through. It's not a problem for them, but no, traditional businesses have to be good at what they are doing. So, for example, let me explain. For example, there are 5 cement companies in our country, say Ambuja Cement, Adani Cement, whatever, Ultratech, right? They're all merged up, so मेरे को मालूम भी नहीं है ज़्यादा. So their job is to produce, if they're national players or local players, their job is to produce cement at the lowest possible price and make sure that their factory orders are full, because that's the simple business model. But let's say one of them decides to go into cement online platform for, say, MSME contractors. So it says big construction providers like railways and all have capabilities of sourcing directly and all of that. You guys are going to local markets to buy cement, or so I'm going to give you an online marketplace to buy cement. Right. So that now, the more and more the MSMEs that you go to buy cement from that platform will automatically attract more and more cement sellers to be on that platform. And then the more and more cement sellers that will come on that platform, tomorrow what will happen is any contractor will go to and say, sir, cement उस पे चलते हैं ना, cement online पे अभी order कर देते. So if this force multiplies, it becomes the de facto way things are being done. It takes time. You get what I'm saying?
Understood.
I'm not saying this is a viable idea, but I'm just giving an example.
Just one more follow-up. And actually 8 years back, somebody even did that. Got the agriculture specifically, like you said, for cement. And this was an idea, but somehow it didn't work out.
Yeah. And there are reasons why it may or may not work out, but we have to understand the power of the network effect. Our learning objective is to understand that well through different and therefore different illustrations today, right? And it's an important force to understand. That's why it's part of our strategy class. Yeah. Sorry, Abhishek. And I.
No. I was just giving an example for in respect to the question. We can take example of Amway or Herbalife. There is a network effect, and they are producing goods. The different kind of Amway and Herbalife kind of products they sell throughout this networking events and all.
Try and differentiate market penetration, growth and all from network effect. Network effect needs 2 players on 2 sides. Keep that mirror analogy. So if I am a product company and I'm creating new products for different customer segments like Herbalife, and I'm creating a set of influencers to promote my my thing. This is my normal marketing. It's my normal product development. It's my normal growth. It's what my business should do. What my business is doing, right? But if I become a platform, if Marico becomes a platform for hair care, not just a seller of parachute hair oil. Marico says there will be, I will create this platform because this is the big problem ailing whatever, right? And I will get all the bald people on that. I'm sorry, saying it like that. Or people who are losing hair as one side, and all the hair providers, whether it's lotion, this, that, on this side. And the more of this gets me more of this, the more of this gets me more of this. That is network.
Apple ecosystem, the iOS thing, can that be an example?
Oh, that is like the mother of all networking. So that's locked in. So what Apple has created through the iOS system, which is the developers and the users with the lock-in of the phone or the device, right? So that's it. So the power is in the two sides, which is we, the consumers, and the app developers, correct? But the power has been locked in by a device, and or is enabled more smooth by a device, correct? And the device is giving me the other features, which is the, let's say, the phone features or the personal computing features and all. So it's wow. So this is not just a network effect creation, it's an ecosystem creation. For example, when the iPod was launched, as you all know, it was not just a storage of music, right? It solved the problem of the digital music industry. iPod essentially, or now it has become iPhone. Before digital music was fully digitally online available, we used to download it, right? And we had various websites to download it. I'm even forgetting their names. It was not that efficient, if you remember, right? We used to download tracks or convert things.
Yeah, songs.pk and stuff, I recall.
Yeah, some of it was, what do you call that? Spurious, like to avoid copyright.
Piracy.
Piracy. Some of it was piracy. Yeah. And so the songwriter, the composer, whatever, the group who owned the song did not get anything, but someone else, used to get something whatever I used to.
Loyalty fees and stuff.
Yeah. So we moved from buying physical audio cassettes and LPs and CDs to this service, where we would download it on our laptop or phone or whatever, iPod. We had not just iPod, we had any device, right? Any MP3 player, sorry. We had MP3 players, right? That was a state. That was a chaotic marketplace. There was no one leader. Neither with a device nor in the service. Right? There were many people operating. Now look at that space. It's all gone. Of course, now because music we don't need to download. It's available on the cloud anytime. So all I need to be able is to have an efficient ability to reach the cloud, and my whatever fee I pay, it covers that. But in the era that the iPod solved that problem, it solved it through iTunes. You remember any of you? iTunes?
Yes.
iTunes gave you a very easy way, clean way, legit way. No piracy issues. You could go into any thing and download the album, download the song. And Apple did not earn from iTunes because that revenue went to the legit music provider, and that's why all of them gave those digital music to Apple. To iTunes network, right? So iTunes used to earn, I think, for $1 if you paid for a song. Apple used to not even earn 5 cents, maybe 10 cents at the max. And the 90 cents would go to the channel, from where music would come, the record company, the song company, whatever it is. So Apple was not making any revenue from iTunes, but Apple was making revenue from iPods.
Make sense? Look at
the reverse, which is the famous razor blade example. The razors are reasonably priced. The blades are expensive. So Gillette makes money from profits from continuous sale of blades, which are locked into buying the razor. So therefore, the razor is very cheap. Making sense? Whereas Apple said it's the razor blade in the reverse. iTunes is free, but please pay me, 500 rupees for my iPod or whatever. I'm sorry, nothing.
So can we say that the concept of network effects is more relevant in service providing or facilitating things, or is it relevant in the product companies also? Product sellers too.
It is certainly very prevalent in services, but we should not hold because Apple is a great example. And a lot of ecosystem people who have locked in are great examples of creating network effect. So I would not hesitate to make a general statement, but certainly in services it is seen in more action. Because also what it does is it allows many people providing that service to come in, and many people needing that service to come in, and this is what we need in creating or enjoying the benefits of network effects. Okay, let's nuance it a bit. Okay, Siddharth, do you want to say something?
So Rajiv, a lot of question came around manufacturing, and being from automation domain, there is something which is happening in manufacturing sector as well. So there are a lot of CNC machines and automation robots which are used across in manufacturing sector for automation purposes. So there are companies like Siemens, Rockwell Automation, and all these people who have actually built an entire platform for developers to come and integrate their working environment. So any kind of analytics with regards to how it can perform, what are the errors that can come in, what is the way to solve problems, it actually gets answered in that. So that would also be one of the networks.
This is a good example. I like this example because, and I just jotted it down. And let's apply the lens that we are learning. So on one hand, Rockwell is a provider of, say, automation and things like that. Siemens, Rockwell, and all CNC machines, as you are saying, maybe Toshiba, whatever. I don't know names. Lots of Japanese. But let's say they are opening their SCADA system. They are opening their system and saying, hey, why don't you all developers, my system is open to you. Please write things so that my machines can become better for write it for plastic manufacturers, for lens manufacturers, for auto manufacturers, whatever. So that more and more people will then use so it's like an Apple example. Yes. The core business of Rockwell or Toshiba is to sell their CNC machine. Okay. But they're realizing that by opening or allowing developers and users to come in, users share problems, developers solve it. Rockwell maybe earns nothing. It's not worried. But it's liking this because, I am able to solve my problems in Rockwell. And I'm an engineering developer. I enjoy going to Rockwell. It pays me maybe a monthly retainer fee or something like that. So the power is big here. It's evolving, right? Am I making sense? Yes. Yeah. I would like to know more about this, Siddharth, separately from you. Because I would like to use it as an example. It's a good example. Sure.
Yes. No, I got your point. So from a manufacturing point of view, is economy of scale, like let's say a contract manufacturer,
right,
providing services for companies like HUL. Let's just take an example for FMCG, right? So building an economy of scale, ample capacity, will that classify as a network effect?
No. And that's a very important strategic capability for that contract manufacturer, but that's not network effect. So I'll explain what that is. That is what we call as specialization, economies of scope and scale, and what we call the learning effect. Okay. So let's say the contract manufacturer example you gave. So let's say I first start as a contract manufacturer for HUL, right? And then I become large. So I start getting economies of scale. Now, economy of scale. That's the first thing that happens. This gives me cost. Cost advantage makes me more assured with my buyer. Cost and quality, right? More assured with my buyer, more volume. Now I can make my quality even superior. So my buyer is super happy. We get locked in. Now I go scope. So scale, once I do scale, then I say, can you give me more this variety also? They say, but this needs a new mold, this needs, I say, I'll do it. So scope, then I start learning new things. So I start one, go scale, then I go scope, and all this creates a learning effect in my company. I start becoming better. I figured out how to do this. I figured out how to do this better. So and then I land up being a mid-sized player with capabilities. Dixon, sorry. I think Dixon is basically an assembler and a manufacturer of components. Am I correct? And I don't know the world enough. So anybody from consumer electronics?
Yes. Yeah, they manufacture for a lot of phone.
A lot of OEMs. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah. They manufacture for a lot of OEMs. They wouldn't have started with a lot of OEMs on day one, isn't it?
Correct.
They would have become a manufacturer for Philips or Panasonic. I don't know their history, but it's probably worth. I have two homework for today, not for short term, but for long term. I'd like to build a case study on Dixon actually. It can illustrate this concept.
They are the key customers are basically Samsung and Motorola, which they are working with. For display as well as for the components which go behind it.
Okay.
And along with it, they are also working with Panasonic for various audio systems as well. So they've got a decent manufacturing lineup. And I think Google Pixel in India is also being manufactured through Dixon Technologies only.
Right. So now think about, and even though we don't know enough from a ground level, we can debate it, right? So what are the capabilities and resources of Dixon? Because that is their winning advantage. Right? They are not worried about network effects. If you notice, this is the thinking they are becoming better at. Their capabilities. So the capabilities of taking up a fast product, quickly launching it with a quality standard, with a cost proposition, maybe taking over, things like distribution to your, warehouses, something like that. You understand that? That's the capabilities that they are focused on is kind of operational excellence. Tomorrow, when I wrap up the module, I'll show you sort of 3 buckets of capabilities. Operational excellence is 1, customer intimacy is 2nd, and product leadership is 3rd. Right? I mean, they're just names I've taken, but within that, we show you sub capabilities. So operational excellence will be a core capability at Dixon, including maybe some product development. Right. So customers are just going and saying, "Ye kar dijiye hamare liye." I don't have to product engineer. Says they will do it. And they'll trust them that Dixon will not misuse that information. So that's another capability, right? Making sense? To you? Okay. So 2 different capabilities. They are not substitutes. This is thinking within a business, and this thinking, platform and marketplace thinking is a network effect thinking, right? So I wanted to use a very good setting for us to see them in action with delivery. Okay. Let's see both in delivery. So Do you need a break? Maybe. Do you need a break? Okay.
Yes, we can take a break, sir.
Let's take a break. Let's just take a 10 minutes break. I'm taking it a bio break. So it's 14:35. Let's come at 14:45. 2:45. Let's take a 10 minutes break. We'll join. We'll take another break. 14:45. 10 minutes. Bye. Yeah, just let me know when you're back. Sorry, took another minute. Yes. Siddharth, yeah, yes, to your point. So that there would be some examples like Dixon, like Jabil. Yeah, good to do something on them. Yeah. Making sense what I talked about network effects, or is it Mambo Jumbo? Making some sense.
So I have while everybody is coming back, Delivery, Zomato, Blinkit, Dixon, Jabil, whatever names we are taking right now, all of them are my customers today. So I know
Right.
I'm giving all the examples right now.
Good. I mean, delivery and Zomato, Swiggy are part of our discussion today anyway, but we've started with a broader discussion, and then we'll see it in action in these companies, right? So I just took this slide, and we'll just use it to see whether there is a network effect or this is more a typical pipeline business, which is capabilities, resources, right? So, one second. So, okay. So if you look at on the left hand side, I put down the traditional business models. Okay. The manufacturer business, distributor business, retailer business, franchisee model, contract manufacturing, licensing, razor blade. Product is at the low price, consumables are at the high price. Leasing, and different businesses coming together, different services, products and services. So traditional, right? In new age, platform and marketplace business, which act as a conduit between buyers and sellers. They may own or not own production or consumption, but they coordinate their interactions, right? So this platform and marketplace creates strong network effects. And if they create strong network effects, they themselves become a very strong business. Making sense now? Right? Likewise, aggregators, for example, Urban Company, they consolidate multiple service or products and offer them under a single brand. So there is a network effect. The more services they bring together and the service providers, the more people interested in going to Urban Company. And the more people are there, the more service providers want to go in because they find the market. So is the same with on-demand, quick commerce companies. Subscription companies, digital services. You can even say your OTT. The more of us, the more content. The more content, the more of us. Creator economy, consumer to consumer, etc. So a lot of, therefore, which means that a lot of new age businesses have the potential of creating network effects. Corollary. Wherever a new age business is able to create network effects, it becomes powerful and more valuable. Yes? No? Maybe? You see? Okay. Let's see it in action. So delivery. So anybody who read what is delivery and what's happening out there? By the way, anybody works in delivery in the classroom? I don't think so. Or Ecom Express? No. Okay. Continue. Yeah. Yes.
It's a tech company that is delivering stuff too.
It's a tech company delivering goods. Okay. Delivering goods. I find a lot of people enjoy saying this, a lot of companies enjoy saying this, that we are a tech company delivering food, we are a tech company delivering goods. We're a tech company. You don't have to say that. Delivering goods and services in the most efficient ways is a thing to be proud of. Yes, you need tech to do it. It's a separate point, but why do we have to say it? The world is fairly evolved now. You don't have to say that you are tech to be able to command a valuation. It's pretty transparent. There was a time you had to add these words in your thing, tech, and whatever IT to be able to command valuations. Not anymore, I think. But people love to say that. We're a tech company delivering you furniture. No, sir, you're a furniture company using technology to deliver better furniture at lower price. So,
AI is the new buzzword. AI is the new buzzword.
We are an AI company and all. No, we are a company that is superior, best in delivering logistics services. To do that, we use many intelligence services, including artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence.
I think that these companies don't want to just stay in delivering services, or they want to stay in food delivering services. They want to go beyond this image. That's why they call themselves a tech company.
So this is how Delivery calls itself. And Delivery is a listed company, which means it is communicating this to the public. It says, we are India's largest integrated logistics platform. So they do call themselves a platform because they are providing services to many and many services to many. But that's how they call themselves. And this is their last year numbers. I think the FY25 numbers will come out soon. But the last year, March, they were a 8,000 crore revenue company, which means through their various services that they provided, they made a revenue of around 8,000 crores. Not that they were valued, the valuation would be higher. And for that year, they were minor positive, right? So many million shipments and so on and so forth. Okay. So who are their customers? Who are their customers?
E-com companies.
Okay. E-com companies. So e-commerce companies, just name them. Customers we should name also. So e-commerce companies means who? Myntra, Flipkart, Amazon. Such type of companies, right? Flipkart. Okay. What else? Is they are the only customers?
All kinds of merchants, small merchants, big merchants.
So merchants, correct, good. So small and big.
This could be goods, this could be food.
They merchants, goods, okay. Could be food, you are saying. Okay.
Manufacturing companies for
actual companies, for example, Lenovo and all that,
Lenovo, Voltas is one of the largest
companies. And they're saying, why do we need to become Excel when Delivery is saying I can manage your logistics and all? Goods companies and using. So what are goods companies using Delivery as?
Warehouses.
Fulfillment as a 3PL, right?
Yes.
They are a third party, which means they are outside of their company. And they're using them as their logistics service provider, maybe through warehouses, through trucking, through shifting goods from one place to the other. So that's essentially the 3PL model, right? Third party logistics, correct? Okay.
They also
Go ahead, Ranjit. We lost your voice.
They also do the deliveries on the COD. It means there is a transaction which is involved. They need to collect the money and pay it back to the.
So one of their services is that they can manage COD. And that was how they came into being, right? They solved this puzzle before anybody else, right? Okay. What else? Do they serve individuals? No. Or is that their business?
Yeah, they do.
So they do in your peer-to-peer also? Like, I want to send goods to Aritra, so I can do it via delivery?
Yes. Express courier service sort of thing.
Express courier service. So now one company doing all of this. Now, number one, so how did it all start? They were not a DHL, they were not a Blue Dart, they were not a, I don't know which else was there. So how did they start this? And how did they become so good at it? I mean, you're pretty much telling me they can serve anybody, right? E-commerce companies, goods companies, which is basically all product companies, merchants, which means traders, and they can manage COD, they can do food delivery, they can do P2P, they can do express courier services. This is like all.
I think there is one more unique business which they are into, which is fleet management. They are an aggregator for, they have a platform for managing fleets as well. They have their own and they help other parties also manage their fleet.
So they have their own fleet. So one is they have, okay, let's build this further up. They have their own fleet because they are in logistics. So they have kept their, wait a minute. So let's say resources, capabilities. They have their own fleet. Plus they are a fleet aggregator also. So they are saying, telling fleet companies, please come into our platform and we'll give you the business, right? So you don't have to go other places.
Right.
Okay. What else?
They created the platform with the help of by partnering with the transporters.
Yeah. So fleet aggregator, transporters, they are. So. Right. Piyush, you want to add?
So they're this big now, but they started very small, delivering food within the city.
And it was very small, correct?
Yes, and it just evolved. One thing led to the other. Then they realized that they can go into package delivery, then merchant to merchant or merchant to consumer, then cities. So at some point of time, it was the other way around, product fit, where people wanted them to expand to other cities.
Customers were saying, do it. Right? They were not even thinking, but it was coming in, right? This is what we call as classic entrepreneurial world. We call it classic product market fit. Classic definition of product market fit is the customer is calling you and your phone is busy. Because why? Because you are solving other customer problems. Why? Because you've got so much business. It's not because your product is the best. Is nothing like that. Product market fit doesn't mean the best product. It also is not because your product is the lowest cost. There is something that you did. There's something that is happening. The people need it, so they are calling you. You found the sauce, right? People want it. You say मैं 3 दिन बाद करूँगा. He says हाँ ठीक है कर दीजिए. So like that. That is true product market fit, right? In fact, some sharp investors, when people say, I think we've achieved product market, they say, okay, very good. How many customer calls do you get? How many customer inquiries do you get? Something like that they will ask you. So product market fit generally means that everybody in your company is very busy. You are just getting too much of what you can't handle because something that you've done is needed in the market. There's demand. You didn't know, you couldn't figure it out. Once you put it out there, it's happening. It's a good classic definition, though slightly more sophisticated also. We'll study and not thinking. Okay, so yes, you're right. In 2011, these 4-5 guys just started up. They were young guys, and they were friends with all of these people. They were essentially friends with the Zomato team, the Zomato founder. They also started up around similar time, slightly earlier actually. So Flipkart and Zomato started in 2008, Snapdeal started in 2010, and delivery started in 2011. Right? These were all set of engineers, consultants, IT people who came out in that era. And they felt that food delivery is a good problem to solve. They felt that at that point of time. They also knew Dipinder Goyal, who was Zomato founder. So they were in Gurgaon. Zomato was also in Gurgaon. So the version 1 of delivery was just a hyper-local service in Gurgaon, right, in Delhi. And they themselves used to, the best way to learn a business is to start using it, right? I mean, in online at least. So the story, I think it was told in the case to you that they ordered food, it came very late, the delivery boys, at that time the restaurants used to deliver themselves. Right? That was the system. There was no aggregator of food delivery. Right? So they said that the delivery boy said, sir, my restaurant's getting closed, we are 4 boys and all of that. So they just went to the restaurant and talked to them, and they said, we would like to hire your people. They said, yeah, please do. We are anyway closing down. So everything came together, and that's how they started. Now, lesson one is when you solve a real problem, customers come. So they started delivering 100 orders a day. They were not in the business of food. They were just in the business of food delivery, right? So once that happened, the people who were in e-commerce at that time, Urban Touch, I think some other companies, they heard about them. They called them. These were local NCR companies, and they said, look, between lunch and dinner, you have time, right? Food is largely lunch and dinner. You have time. Why didn't you deliver my packets? Because what startups want other people to do work for them for no cost. So they said, your capacity is free, so help us with this. You seem to have some way of picking stuff and delivering stuff. So this is what we need. So they started doing e-commerce deliveries in Gurgaon, again, Urban Touch, India Times, Healthcart, so on and so forth. In 2011 end, from zero, they were doing 600 orders a day. So for them, this was very good. They were a small startup at that time. Actually, they were curious. Why is business coming to them? When other people exist, is it only cost? Okay, or is this something else? So they decided to get more deeper, which is again natural engineering curiosity. Get deeper, and they realized, and they did this experiment. It is told. I'm assuming I'm taking it at face value. These two friends, Sahil and I forgot his name, Bhavesh, I think. Or whoever, they used to live about 15 minutes from each other. Like he can walk 15 minutes and get to the other place, which is very common these days in high-rise societies, right? So they ordered peer-to-peer books on each other. Okay. And every time they made that order, they realized it is getting delivered in 2 to 3 days. Not once, more than once. By the delivery service provider. So they figured out that the system that exists today is the system that was created as the hub and spoke system. And the entire idea of the hub and spoke system was to lower logistics costs. The metric was to lower logistics costs. It was not to focus on convenience. And the whole idea was that therefore things had to go to a central point and then redistribute. Now, even though this was, and maybe that delivery person, when he moved out of here, was crossing this place. But instead of just completing the order in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever, that book went to a central hub. From there got rebroked into Gurgaon delivery. So this book, when ordered peer-to-peer, it went through a central hub and came back. Now, this understanding of theirs told them that there is something broken in this model to cater to. That model works, but it works at scale, for scale needs. Right? When you are ordering monthly material, there's that. National distribution. This is not the right model for e-commerce or food delivery, and so on and so forth. And they were right. So then they understood more that the e-commerce players, I think the case people must have read it, that they said, look, we are outsourcing the last mile to a delivery company. So till the time the customer is ordering stuff on our website, they are in our experience control. After that, our goods are being taken by a delivery company, and then so they felt that this area needs improvement. They heard that from multiple customers, and they figured out the first thing the customers need is speed. The second thing they need is reliability. Okay. Obviously, you will not charge cost which is astronomical. So there is a standard cost that is available out there. The third, everybody was experiencing returns because they had to offer returns to make e-commerce sustainable. Returns were 37%. And their study showed to them that it was not just because I didn't like the product. It was also because a wrong product got delivered to me. It was also because my product went to another address. So obviously he'll return, I'll return. Isn't it? So there was the returns were also happening on account of wrong delivery, right? Wrong address, so things like that. Plus, no company was solving cash on delivery, right? They were taking the cash, was going. So the companies used to get the cash, I think, what does the case say in how many days?
Approx 30 to 60 days.
Approximately 30 days. Okay, and all of this is 11-12 era, right? So we have to go back. So they felt there is room to grow, e-commerce is growing, plus GST was also coming together, so which means India will be one national marketplace. So more logistics movement will happen. So based on all of this, they decided to focus on being a transnational logistics player, right? So, and that's when, what you told me, they started doing all this. And so do you think they created network effects? So what network effects? So firstly, do you think delivery succeeded in creating network effects? Anybody?
Not in 2011-12.
Not in 2011-12. Then as they developed their business, as you read the 10 pages, and now it's listed, so I'll show you good information on them. But do you think it's a network effect or it's a straight pipeline business for e-commerce companies? They're basically a third-party logistics provider. They're a 3PL.
No, I think they created trust. Sorry,
Piyush, please go ahead.
I'm saying that they created the trust. They made their service so reliable that people came to them. And that is what made them create that network, or it created that network effect.
So when you provide, Piyush, let me elaborate what you are saying. So you're saying you create trust by providing good service, reliable service, and therefore more customers will come to you. That is fully understood and that is fully acknowledged. And so that's how you attract customers. By network effects, I said, we have to look at the analogy of two user groups. And because one is there, the other comes more, and this comes, therefore this comes. So this analogy, do you think it played out with delivery?
Yes.
So can you explain, Siddharth, what